Controlling an RGB strip with Home Assistant can be surprisingly tricky. Doing this can take a lot of effort, as I discovered. I bought this small device a few years ago. This is an Electrodragon driver for RGB strip. It is based on the ESP32 chip, and I thought it wouldn't be very easily integrated via ESP Home. Well, I was mistaken, because this specific chip is an ESP32-C3, which is not very well integrated in ESP Home. I tried to flash a firmware with ESP Home Flasher, with ESP tools, with the web-based tool provided by Home Assistant, but to no avail. I had to get creative and implement a completely different solution. The board itself works flawlessly when I flash it with the ESP ID, for instance. So I decided to implement a simple web server with a few commands integrated in it, in order to provide Home Assistant to the webhook for controlling the LED. So this device has a dedicated firmware which doesn't talk directly through ESP Home. It is not integrated there. It has a few commands that Home Assistant can interact with via webhooks. So Home Assistant can control the state of the RGB lights. This allows us to control this device with the usual interface. So I can have Home Assistant issue commands via webhook for controlling the state of the lights. Let's see how I implemented this. The software itself is pretty simple. You just have to add here your credentials for your Wi-Fi network, and here the information regarding the static IP. It is mandatory to set up a static address. Make sure that this is not already used on your network. Here you can see the webhooks that will activate the different colors. For instance, this one will activate the red strip, the green and the blue. I implemented the webhooks for turning on just primary colors, but these could easily be extended to more advanced functions. It could be useful to add more colors, for instance, and also implement fade-in and fade-out effects. This could be easily added. Here I implemented a function for allowing Home Assistant to ask for the state of the RGB strip. Now, once you can flash this software to the device, and when you open the serial monitor, we can see that we are connected on the network on this address. Now, if I go to the specified address, I can control the device. For instance, the server responds with red on. You can see the LED has turned on. Again, green and blue. I can also request the state. For instance, if I now request the state, I can see that the red is state false, green false, and blue is true. For turning everything off, it is just off, I think. Yes, exactly. So I can control the device via webhooks. Now, if I go to Home Assistant, I can implement the buttons. I have to go in the file editor and in the configuration file, configuration.yaml. I have to implement a new REST sensor, so a sensor with platform REST. This will ask for the state, which we saw previously, which was formatted as a JSON file, which can be parsed as red, green and blue state. Here are the switch. So this is the sensor for asking the state, while these are the REST commands for turning on the different colors or turning off the device. The switches are implemented in this way. There are 3 switches. The value is the one obtained by the requested JSON file, and when the switch turns on, it runs this command, which turns on the red light, and when the switch is turned off, this service is run, which turns off the light. I did the same for the green LED and the blue LED. And now if I go to developer option, states, I can see the entities that I just created, so the 3 switches, and also the result of the JSON file of the JSON request, so I can see the state here. So I have now implemented the 3 switches that I can bring in the dashboard. So here I can turn on the blue LED, the green LED, and finally the red LED. As you can see, the state of the switches is a little bit buggy because the JSON request is run once every 2 seconds, so there is a little bit of delay. But apart from this, the functionalities are working correctly, as you can see. I can now implement these entities in my automations. So there you have it, a simple way for Home Assistant to control a device which is not compatible with ESP Home. As I said before, for now I implemented only the control for the 3 primary colors, but many other features can be developed in the future. A link in the description will bring you to the GitHub repository, where you will find the code for the ESP32-C3 board, and also for the configuration.yaml file for Home Assistant. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask, and see you next time.